Day 35.
Of the 29th year and beyond.
Well, on day 33, we talked about making your request known.
Yes.
And yesterday on day 34, Gail talked about, Mom, I want to come home. I guess that was her request. But today, what I want us to focus on is the difference between what you want versus what you need.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Not a clue.
On yesterday, we talked about a lot of the challenges that came with the birth of John and the different things that were going on in our lives at the time, and the new things that were taking place, not just motherhood and fatherhood and me getting involved in ministry and all those things. But this time, as we kind of touched on yesterday, it was a really painful time. She cried, I cried. But I recall when our relationship shifted. As I told you all, Gail and I were a very vibrant, very, intimate, sexually involved couple. And then when John was born, everything shifted and our relationship changed significantly. And I remember praying to God. It's like, okay, you need to fix her. Something's wrong with her and you need to fix her.
And you thought something was wrong with me?
Well, clearly, because, as I talked about yesterday, she went from being my wife to now being John's mother. And, you had talked about, being fatigued and the nursing and the postpartum.
Didn't feel, my sexy was gone. Mm-hmm. I felt like a milk cow. There was just a lot going on, but, and then, you had jumped into this ministry mode. And like I said, someone called or, you were gone, and I realized, just like with anything, when you first start something, you're trying to feel your way and everything, but it just was like you were all in. And, I was sort of left, trying to figure this out as a mother. And so, yeah.
Well, and, we talked yesterday about there was a difference of opinion about the length of the drought, but it was a significant drought.
It was. Okay, I'll go with 3 years.
But with that said, I remember how much it impacted me physically and emotionally. Yeah. And like I said, I was praying. I was saying, God, I don't know what's going on, but, you need to fix this and you need to fix her, whatever you need to do to her. And because of what I wanted the relationship that we had. I wanted the physical relationship that we had. I wanted all of those things. And so I was just looking at things from my perspective.
Right.
Then things changed. Because God revealed to me, Fred, you don't need everything that you want. And even the things that you need, you don't necessarily need them when you think you do. And when I got that revelation, for the first time, I stopped looking at things from my perspective, and I began to look at things through Gail's eyes. And it was at that point that I, for the first time, began to, as much as I was hurting, as much as I felt that I was not getting what I wanted, I also saw that you were hurting. And I also began to see that because I was hurting, that was a part that was hurting you too. And then my prayer went from God do to her to God do through me.
Right.
And that's when things really changed because I took the focus off of myself and I looked at my wife and looked at her struggle and looked at and then what I wanted was to be able to partner with her, and what I needed was to partner with her. And so even though there were other things about a relationship that are priorities, this became the priority.
Right. And I remember the shift as well, because you were a little bit more involved and a little bit more caring about what I needed, and you seemed less frustrated than you had been before. And I even went out without John a few times, and so life sort of shifted into a more where we were working together instead of working against each other. Because keep in mind, I was completely oblivious to a lot of the stuff that was going on because I was in my own mindset of nightmare.
and that's the thing when we talk about being on this journey together. Each of you have wants, each of you have needs, but what is it that is needed for the healthy benefit of you as a couple and as a family? And I'm going to tell you, when we got through that period, because it was still some challenges, but when we got through that phase, I knew at that point, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it didn't matter what happened to us, at least from my perspective. I knew that this marriage was going to continue regardless of what happened. It was that moment when I really, really, really knew that it didn't matter what happened, come hell or high water, that there was nothing that was going to be able to destroy this marriage for me.
Well, there you have it.
And it was all because I learned the difference between what I wanted and what we needed. Look forward to seeing you the next day.
See you tomorrow.
Say.